Hey guys, I'm RozaldVane and welcome back to another episode of 999. Oh god, Zero Escape 999. Sorry about that. I already spoke my brain was going way ahead of me, and my speech is coming out like ever so slowly. Zero Escape 999. 9 hours, 9 people, 9 doors. Or 9 persons rather is what the title would usually say. Yeah. So in the last episode, we basically got to the library. The library is having a bit of puzzle element to it, and we just need to go ahead and try to solve it. And right now, I think Snake was telling us something about like the secret behind the previous experiment or the old experiment that he and Clover went through, and potentially Santa as well, and potentially June. But otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna hear what he has to say about the four-leaf clover, which is what he was going on about, I think, for a second here.
それを聞いて確信したんだ。彼はあの時の仲間に違いないとね。その彼が僕らを殺すなんてことは考えられないんだ。
If anything, he wouldn't want to kill him. Unless they got in Santa's way with trying to manipulate Ace to get the worst outcome, in a sense.
たとえどんな事情があったとしても。
なあ、ニルス。
ああ、分かってるよ。実験のことが知りたいんだろ。
そうだ。
Wait, why would he want to know? Like, is it because he wasn't I guess, yeah, because Clover did say that Snake was in the other building outside of the whole cargo event, the whole ship event that Clover went through, but I don't know.
君はどこまで知ってるんだい？
俺が四つ葉から聞いたのは。
Oh, just covers what we know by that point, which I don't.
なるほど。
I don't remember where how much was covered. I think it was the first playthrough, so gosh, that was a while ago. Yeah, so she covered about how somebody died in the ship. I think Seven's side of the story is not covered, so I don't think that's covered in this path, where he talked about how he was a detective on the ship, or on the experiment. Same for Lotus being a mother of the twins who were part of the experiment. What else was there? Yeah, we never get to hear Santa talking about his sister's death in this path, but it's in the other path, of course. And of course, same thing for Ace's truth, I guess. Yeah, so I don't think there's much covered besides like those particular points, I think.
携帯形成場仮説とそれを応用した9年前の実験。それがこの船とネバダの実験場で行われたこと。
One being in the ship and the other being in the building in Nevada. Yes, that's the point that Clover brought up.
そして失ってしまった僕らの仲間。四つ葉のやつはそこまで君に話したんだね。とにかく君がどこまで知ってるのかは分かったよ。
誰が、なぜ、何のために、どのようにして実験を行ったのか。
I accidentally cut him off a little bit. I think he was just finishing up some lines on his own.
そうだな。
聞かせてもらえるか。
あ、実験を企てたのはクレイドル製薬という製薬会社の連中だ。
I already know that.
首謀者は4名。
I also already know that because it's part of the note. But I guess it's, again, for some people who skipped over. Actually, no, you cannot skip over that path anymore. Like, if you were to unlock this path, you need to have gotten through the key, the yellow key, which is all the way down to the safe vault ending. And the safe vault ending technically requires you to know who these 4 are. I think they gave us 6 names, rather, but I think these are 4, I think. I don't know.
本郷源太郎。
Which is Ace. That's his real name, I remember that.
虹崎渚。
Don't know that person yet.
久保田照明。
Don't know that person yet.
武蔵堂景親。
Don't know that person either.
本郷はクレイドル製薬の CEO、つまり社長だ。
Wait, number 9 was the guy on the left, the one who's on the left, isn't it?
その右腕となって働いていた参謀格の男が虹崎。
Nijisaki. I'm trying to recognize who it is with the silhouette, but so far I don't think we've met this person either.
久保田は研究開発部部長。
Yeah, Kubota is the one who was number 9. It's just the difference is that he probably had like different hairstyle by that point, because Kubota is like frizzy haired not Kubota. Number 9 was the number 9 man had like frizzy haired. He had glasses, which you can kind of see in the silhouette that he has glasses, and he kind of wears like a suit-esque looking outfit, which number 9 kind of wore exactly almost similar to that. Just that he didn't have a lab coat or anything. So I think Kubota did die because Ace Hongo is like, yeah, do it. Trust me. I'm the one who's a ringleader here, or previously was a ringleader, and he was just like, yes, sir, I'll do it. And he goes and gets himself killed.
武蔵堂はクレイドル製薬の大株主だ。
I'm wondering what happened to Musashido. I wonder what's going on with this guy, because it doesn't seem like 2 of the people are in this supposed experiment.
この4名が実験を画策した主要なメンバーということになる。簡単に言うと、立案したのが本郷、実際に動いたのが虹崎。
Oh. Could it be that Santa... Oh, Nijisaki. Oh, and this guy with him. Oh, now everything's clicking. Oh my god, I just realized Nijisaki is dead already. He's the guy that Hongo killed in place of Snake. Nijisaki was the one who dressed up as Snake. That's the guy who looked like Snake, or was in place of Snake, because the hairstyle was similar to that guy. And I now remember that. So he was the one who died because of Ace not recognizing his face, because he was just thinking like, oh, he might be Snake, kill him, because maybe potentially Nijisaki said some familiar words to Ace, and Ace was like, you sound like you know everything, Snake. And then Nijisaki's like, wait, I'm not, what do you mean Snake, who are you talking about? And Ace is like, you can't be lying, you can't get away from me now. And it's like beep beep beep, and then pushes him into the door or something like that. Like, that would be interesting and fascinating. That was what went down for Nijisaki to die. But the mustache guy is the captain. He's the captain guy. Although the captain is a little bit bald, I think he might have grown in age, and that's why they look a little different. I think all 4 of these people probably grown older and made themselves. They have a different style and a different hair, like stuff. So life went on, and they look a little different now. So at first, it doesn't seem recognizable for me, because I was like, who are these last 2? Like, did we even encounter them? And we did, but only one of them was already dead on sight. Well, the other one was mysteriously killed, but we didn't know that up until the point where we went through the other ending. So technically, all 4 of these guys all 4 of these guys were here with us. 3 of the 4 are now dead. Now we only have the mastermind, the designer, the architect of the experiment left to deal with. So I'm now wondering if that is the case where... like, all 4 of these people are, like... I don't know, like, it's hard to say, but, like, it's hard to know if Santa knew about all these 4 ahead of time and made sure to manipulate, like, 2 of which those individuals would be killed by Hongo himself, because Hongo basically killed 2 of the 4 group. Number 9 and killed number 9 indirectly, which is the scientist, and killed Nijisaki on his own. But who was the one who killed the mustache man? I forget names already, so I'm just like not sure.
技術面で協力したのが久保田で、資金を提供したのが武蔵堂という構図になる。
Yeah, Musashido. Yeah. I think Musashido died either by Snake's hand or by Ace, who probably went ahead or something. But I think it's Santa who threw an axe at Musashido, like in that one captain's quarter.
本郷、虹崎、久保田、武蔵堂か。
But I like this sort of like connecting dots. It's really cool.
もちろんこの4人だけで全てが行われたわけじゃない。
Yeah, there's supposedly 6, I think.
実験を行うにあたって極秘の研究チームが組織された。
Yeah, because I remember there was like 2 other people with it on the list, but I might be wrong.
集められたメンバーの数は十数名。 彼らの協力を得て計画は実行されることになった。
Oh, so we don't know who the other 6 are. But we know these 4 original head honchos.
その計画の名はノナリープロジェクト。実験の目的は人間を自在に操る能力について研究することにあった。そのために利用されたのが携帯形成場仮説だ。グリセリンがある日を境に突然結晶化するようになったのはなぜか。 EDT の結晶構造がある日を境に突然変化してしまったのはなぜか。ラットに問題を解かせる実験で世代を経るごとに正解率が上昇していったのはなぜか。人間で行われた実験でも同じ。ある問題について答えを知っている人間が多ければ多いほどそれを知らないはずの人たちの正解率も上がった。それは一体なぜなのか。目には見えないフィールドに形態モルフが格納されているからだ。そのフィールドを介してモルフは関連する事物へと伝播していく。これが形態形成場仮説のざっくりとしたあらましだ。
So he's bringing in the idea of why the experiment existed. I don't know if... I mean, it's nice to have to kind of give a background to the experiment and what its topic is, but I feel like these kind of topics are a little bit too over the head for me, I think, personally. Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to know about it, but I would probably want to know about if it was real, per se, versus if it's just primarily built in the story itself.
だがそれはただの仮説であって。
信じることはできない？
ああ。
今仮に悪魔のささやきを耳にして人を殺してしまった人物がいるとする。
Oh, the devil. Yeah, because let's say something supernatural rather. I wouldn't say the devil specifically.
その事件を解明するのに悪魔の実在や不在を証明する必要なんてないんだよ。
Like it could be a ghost. Like there's this sort of like idea that I think Einstein was the thing. I don't know if this is real because somebody told me, but Einstein said that ghosts are basically a static field where it replicates or emits light from people of the past, because it's like space and time, and it's mostly enveloped in the idea of space, where you can see like glowiness of things and people, but that's because there was a lot of like energy in that space that kind of caused those things to show up in a different time, I guess, is what he's saying. Like, so that's why some people might be like, oh, it might be, like ghosts might have quote unquote possess a person to think that way or think / do things. But I mean, the scienciness is a little different from what I was thinking, from what I think that Einstein was saying and what they're saying here with like the finding a space and kind of like knowing the answer or influencing someone to do something, I guess, like the devil existence thing.
重要なのはそいつが悪魔の存在を信じていたということだけで。
Apologies for the flying plane up there.
つまり少なくとも本郷たちは形態形成場仮説を信じていたと。
そういうことだ。
だけどまだよくわからないな。実験の目的は人間を自在に操る能力について研究することにあった。
How would he do it?
さっきそう言ったよな。
ああ。
形態形成場仮説を使うとどうしてそれが可能になるんだ？
Yeah, that would require like full-on manipulation versus having it where like they would have to effectively brainwash all those guys to make them like really forget about their past and what they're doing, unless it's kind of like that sort of like I forget what they're called, but it's like the secret spy movies or secret agent movies where they're like they brainwash the person, the agent, and then they would say like a keyword, and then that unlocks their brain to be like, oh shoot, I'm a spy in this field. What am I doing? I'm supposed to like hunt down this person in this country or something like that. Like I think that was like part of a movie or something like that. I can't remember exactly which movie or which show it was, but it was a really cool concept where they can just like have a keyword, and the keyword will force them to do a thing to start attacking or start doing something that they're supposed to do.
簡単に言おう。今、100万人の人間にある問題の答えを教えたとする。すると、何も教えてもらっていないにもかかわらず、明日、君がその問題を解いてしまう確率は高くなる。もう一つ例を挙げよう。今、100万人の人間が一斉に逆立ちをしたとする。すると、そんなことは何も知らないにもかかわらず、明日、君が逆立ちをする確率は高くなるんだ。人間の思考活動や行動パターンも、モルフのうちの一つだからね。形成場に刻まれたそれらのモルフは、君の中に投影されやすくなるのさ。あくまでも仮説を信じたらの話だけれど、ここまではいいかい？
You know what's interesting too with this? It's kind of like assuming that these people are like hive minds, basically. They're like, they follow in some order of the queen kind of thing, the ants. Like, I was thinking of ants, because I remember the ants were like if you cut off their body off their heads and stuff, they're still able to still kind of connect in a way to the head of the queen or something like that. So, I think that's true. I might be wrong. So I'm thinking it's kind of like that, where it's just telepathically telling other similar types of themselves to like do a thing, or like, hey, there's a problem here or something. And I think that's what they're going on, is just trying to build a hive mind in a sense.
ああ。では、もしも仮にその100万人に匹敵する力を持った人物がいるとしたらどうなるだろう。そいつがたった一人で逆立ちするだけで、他の人たちも自然と逆立ちしたくなってしまうような、そんな不思議な人物がいるとしたら。
そんなやつ？
まあ待ってくれ。もう一人。今度は逆のパターンを考えてみよう。何の力もない普通の人間がたった一人で逆立ちしただけなのに、その微弱なモルフを汲み取って自然と逆立ちしてしまうような、そんな奇妙な人物がいるとしたら
Make people do handstands.
どうなる？
He would do the handstand.
前者は形成場に書き込む力を持ったもの、後者は読み取る力を持ったもののことだ。ライターとリーダー、送信者と受信者と言ってもいいだろう。もしもそんな能力を持ったペアが存在するとしたらどうなると思う？
They're able to control and manipulate people.
送信者のモルフ、思考活動や行動パターンが形成場を介して受信者に伝わる。つまりは送信者が受信者を意のままに操ることができるようになると、そう言いたいのか？
ああ、そうだ。
そんなバカなこと。
ありえないかどうかは実際に検証してみなければわからない。
Yep.
と、少なくとも本郷たちはそう考えたらしい。だからこそ奴らは実験を行うことにしたんだ。ノナリープロジェクトはこうして開始されることになった。ところで順平くん、ガンツフェルト実験って知ってるかい？
Yeah, we've heard it somewhere. I can't remember.
テレパシーを検証するときによく使われる実験のことだろう。
Oh, is it the Lotus's thing, I guess?
隔離された2つの部屋にそれぞれ被験者 Q と A を配置する。そして Q に映像を見せ、その映像が何なのかを A に当てさせる。
よく知ってるね。その通りだよ。
Yeah, because Lotus told us it in depth.
で、そのガンツフェルト実験がどうしたんだ？
選別のために使われたのさ。
Okay.
ある地方都市にクレイドル製薬の傘下にある総合病院があってね。
Oh, I see.
本郷たちはその病院を訪れた子供たちに対して密かにその実験を行ったんだ。そして素質のある子供たちが、つまり形成場に対するアクセス能力の高い子供たちが集められることになった。と言ってももちろん自発的に集まってきたわけじゃない。無理やり拉致されてきたんだ。さらわれた子供たちの数は2人の兄弟が9組で合計18名だった。不思議なことに兄弟のうちの片方が送信能力に長けていると、もう片方は受信能力に長けているといった感じで、9組の能力はきれいに2つに分かれていた。
That's totally fair.
それにのっとって18人は9人ずつ2つのグループに分けられることになった。グループ9は送信能力に長けた者たちで構成されたチームだった。彼らはアメリカのネバダ砂漠に建設された模擬実験棟、通称9棟に移送されていった。
Oh, interesting.
一方、受信能力の高い者たちで構成されたチームはグループ A と呼ばれた。
I thought it was vice versa, where they're transferring information from Group B to Group A, but I guess that's not the point, I guess.
グループ A のメンバーは病院船ギガントの船内に幽閉されることになった。これまでの研究から本郷たちは次の事実に気づいていた。形成場にアクセスする能力は2つの要素によって増強される。
Fear?
一つはひらめき、もう一つは危機。
Yeah, danger is technically fear, but yes. Epiphany, I'm not sure about how that would work in general, because Epiphany seems like you have to give them a lot of rewards or something like that, or some sort of thought.
何か困難な問題に直面した時、悩んで悩み抜いた末にパッと頭の中に解放が浮かぶ瞬間があるだろ。言うまでもなくこれこそがまさにひらめきだ。
I see.
このひらめきによって得られた情報は形成場に書き込まれやすく、また読み取りやすいそうだ。さらにそこに機器が加わることによって形成場へのアクセス能力が一段と高まることも分かっていた。本郷たちはそこに目をつけたんだ。
Putting dangerous traps with the kids.
彼らはギガントの船内に数々のギミックを仕掛けて謎を散りばめておくことにした。それらの謎を解かなければ先には進めない、そういう状況を作り出したんだ。もちろん彼らは危機を与えることも忘れなかった。
So the danger of death, I guess.
ギガントの脇腹を爆破し、沈みゆく船の中でグループ A の子供たちにノナリーゲームを行わせたんだ。
Oh, interesting. So he put a bomb right inside of the thing, just so he could just be like, oh yeah, you're gonna get wrecked if you're not careful.
そうして子供たちを極限状態へと追い込み、能力の発現を促した。一方その頃、グループ9の子供たちは模擬実験棟9棟に監禁されていた。
Which is interesting because they're not being threatened or anything, but
9棟はギガントの構造をそっくりそのまま模したもので、
oh,
室内に仕掛けられたギミックもギガントのそれと全く同じものだった。
I see. So the ones that are inside that building are feeling the same threat that the other group is having, but the difference is that one side isn't gonna necessarily get killed, maybe? I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a weird thing to do, to exactly replicate the two exactly, and then try to... If one dies in that space, then why the hell does the other one not have death the same way?
本郷たちは9の子供たちに向かってこう言った。部屋に散りばめられた謎を解け。解いたらその情報を A の連中に伝えろ。
Huh? He exactly told them just to transfer that information.
うまく伝えることができれば A の奴らは先に進むことができる。だが逆に伝えることができなければ、やがてギガントは沈み、お前らの兄弟であるグループ A のメンバーは皆 海の木図と化すことになるだろ
Damn.
うとね。
So yeah, the people in the building aren't as threatened, but they are as threatened in a way that's not affecting them. They're affecting their other half in a sense.
事故を起こしたアポロ13号がどのようにして地球に帰還したのか知っているかい？
Okay, now this is getting a little bit out of hand and random.
NASA にはアポロ13号の船内の様子をそっくりそのまま再現したレプリカが存在したんだ。
Oh, is it gonna try to explain the whole the moon landing situation where one side it's filmed in a way and one side it's actually happening, and that the one that was being filmed or the weird conspiracy crap that exists where they didn't land on the moon or whatever whatnot, like the people who are like here are actually replicating the ones who are actually landing there so that they can solve any external crisis that happens up in the real life, right?
船の構造や取り付けられた装置の類はもちろんのこと、各種備品や小物に至るまで
Okay.
何もかもがアポロ13号にあるものと同じだった。
Mm-hmm.
そのレプリカを使って NASA のスタッフたちは実際にアポロ13号で起こった事故を全く同じように再現し、
Yeah, it's funny because I keep seeing this as a trope in the stories, and yet I'm just kind of like, I don't know, in a weird way, do you think that this potential event is, like, for you guys who are watching, I don't know if anybody's watching at this point, up to this point, for anybody's watching up to this point, do you think this whole Martian thing is a conspiracy? If it is, then I don't know how you're thinking of it, but I would like to know what you're thinking. But to me, in my mind, it's an oddly strange metaphorical sense of Schrodinger's cat in a weird way to me. Like, if you know the concept of Schrodinger's cat, is like the scientist will put the cat, Schrodinger I think, puts his cat inside a box, waits a few days, and you're going to pick up your cat now after a few days, and you didn't feed him or anything, you didn't see him interact with the cat anymore, and you're like, okay, is the cat dead or is the cat alive? So it's kind of like that, like you're watching the box of TV, like if you were from the 1960s, I don't know, if any, I don't think anybody is much nowadays from the 1960s, because that age is getting further and further away from us. I think 1960s, 1970s, I can't remember when exactly the moon landing was. Exactly. Yeah, so like the 1960s, you got the box, you're watching the television. It's kind of like a Schrodinger's cat. It's just the opposite end of it. It's that you're seeing the thing, but there's a Schrodinger's cat effect where you're thinking, is that guy actually landing on the moon for real? Or is he actually here on Earth, literally in a studio with a replicated moon surroundings or scenery? And it's kind of like the funny weird juxtaposition of like people don't know really if the cat is alive or the cat is dead. So the similar idea of we don't know if the guy's really on the moon or if he is. But then again, I do believe it's the guy on the moon. I honestly don't think there was anything wrong with it. It's just I think that people find it hard to believe because they themselves don't experience it. So in that case, it ruins the effect of the Schrodinger's cat if you put yourself in the box and then you know you're dead or alive by the time that happens. But obviously not everyone can be in that position, obviously, because it takes a lot of training, I'm pretty sure of, and it takes a lot of like careful operationing. Obviously there's a lot of science and a lot of like mechanisms that needs to happen in order to use to safely land on the moon, I'm pretty sure of it, because you can't breathe on the moon, not at all, not yet. Maybe one day, but not yet for sure. But at the same time, I think that people find it hard to believe because they themselves have not gone that far. And sometimes I feel like those people who probably haven't walked out enough would probably have like no experience behind the stuff. But some people who walked out probably still believe in it very heavily and stuff. So it's kind of insane, but it's kind of interesting at the same time. Like I think the thought process is interesting versus the who's right and who's wrong, because there's no real interesting points to what's wrong and what's right, honestly, because both have their own things going on. Anyways.
何をどう使えばトラブルを解決することができるか、 実際にレプリカの中に身を置いて考えたんだ。そして導き出された方法をアポロ13号の飛行士たちに伝えた。それが助けとなって彼らはどうにか地球への生還を果たした。これと同じようなことがギガントとキュートでも行われたんだ。送信者であるグループ Q の子供たちは室内に散りばめられた問題をひらめきによって解決し、その解放を形成場に書き込んでいった。一方、受信者であるグループ A の子供たちは形成場にアクセスして解放を読み取り、それによって問題を解いて先へ先へと進んでいったんだ。これが9年前に行われた実験の概要だ。
おい、ジュベ、ニルス、お前らいつまで食べてんだ。
I like how Seven calls both of us have both of us bony asses.
いい加減こっちに来て手伝ってくれ。
だそうだ。
Alright, so that's a good place to end it on. I don't like the fact that it took that long to get through the whole point of explaining. That was like a whole freaking point of explaining like how the whole experiment goes through and then the explanation. Like, I mean, honestly, all I needed was not the explanation of why the experiment exists, because I feel like that's been over-explained in a weird way. But I think I wanted more of like... Yeah, the more of like the operations behind it, because we never get enough information about like the head honchos, which he finally covered, but like the head honchos was definitely one of them, and that the other stuff that were like minor details was probably more important to me than the, oh, it's this experiment with this whole thing and this is how they're gonna do it. It's like I feel like the whole process of explanation feels overdrawn every time, and that's what I felt throughout the whole first playthrough. It's just like it's overdoing it and it's just a little bit too much. I get it. I get why they explain it. It's to just kind of bring the whole reality of this information together to help the player understand why these things exist, or just to over-explain to a point where it becomes real in a weird way. That's what I think it is. But anyways, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. Not sure where we go from here, but yeah. So anyways, Roz out.